sit down. Sit down, please. No. Pretty.
Your Excellency, before you are the Association of Benin Community in Abuja. So they are here on a courtesy visit to see Your Excellency. Before now, it is said that there is no unity among us. But we have gone beyond that because whatever we decide here in Abuja comes to play. And we are extending it to His Excellency at this hour that whatever we have agreed in Abuja, all of them came to play. And whatever we are also going to say at this hour and pray, it must come to pass in Jesus' name. Amen. Once again, Your Excellency, we are here because we are concerned in what is happening in Edo State. By implication, we are no longer limited to Edo South. We are now standing on behalf of the entire Edo State, which is your constituency. There are some things we have thought about in our meetings, and we now say it is necessary for us to bring it to the fore. For instance, Edo State is a state that is known to be peaceful. Men and women in Edo State are peace and loving people. We hereby see what is happening today, this imbroglio, as foreign. It is on Edo. Edo is known to be loving. Edo is known to be hospitable. Edo is known to be caring for one another. And therefore, we have come to bring it to your notice that from this moment, whatever may have caused the imbroglio through prayers, it will end today in Jesus' name. Amen. We are so happy because we have a proud father, which is His Royal Majesty, the Oba of Benin. Today, we know he has said before now that there should be peace in Edo State. We are also joining that voice to call for peace. However, we are not saying Your Excellency should become a puppet. But what we are saying here is that we have to look back and remember our campaign promises. One of the campaign promises is simply we will bring development to Edo State. We will bring development to every nook and cranny of Edo State. But in an atmosphere of imbroglio fighting, it is not possible. Therefore, we see it as a calculated attempt for our governor to be distracted. And we are refusing that distraction from this moment and after now in the name of Jesus. Amen. We also want to bring to the notice of His Excellency that we are aware of the various developmental strides in Edo State. We want to commend you and we want to ask you not to be distracted. Those from Edo State at home there, they are proud of you. We also in diaspora and beyond Abuja, in higher diaspora in Europe and America, we appreciate what you are doing. And we are joining voice with them to say, continue and kudos to what is happening in Edo State. We are therefore praying for more wisdom, for you to be able to navigate this imbroglio that is happening. Because it takes comment when you be asked to account for what has happened. You cannot say, I've been able to settle one problem, 2 problems, 10 problems, 100 problems. No. It is the development that emanated during your time that will be accounted for. Therefore, we are come to help. Because governance is not limited to an individual, but collective. So we want to tell you that we are behind you, and we are praying, not for you, not only for you as an individual, but for the entire Edo State, so that Edo State can remain peaceful. We also want to bring to the attention of His Excellency that Edo State, we want Edo State to be on top media, on things that are good, not those things that are negative. We want to see the media report that Edo State is best and peaceful and hospitable. We don't want to hear that Edo State is a state where so many rascals are parabolating. We don't want to hear that Edo State is a place where people who have nothing to do and go in the street and begin to cause havoc. We want to see Edo State that wherever we are, when we come back home, we see a peaceful Edo State. These and many more are what we are expecting, and we are wishing that the governor is able to achieve. We have so many things we continue begin to enumerate them, but let us pause at this hour for this discussion. Thank you, Your Excellency.
All your members to your house, the Edo House. I am sure this is the first time all of you are visiting. I intend to invite you formally when we open this house for you to come and open your Edo House soon. Are you not proud of your Edo House? Yes. This is your embassy in Abuja. Let me also thank you for taking time this afternoon to come and meet with me to express your concerns and worry about what is going on at home. But before I say much, I want to assure you that there's more in the newspapers than is actually happening at home. Edo is peaceful as I speak. Because in other parts, if it was really not peaceful, after the illegality of the House of Reps yesterday, you would have seen riots on the streets of Edo today. But our people know better. They understand what is going on. And as you know, we are a peace-loving people. Since you have all come out of concern, I think I owe you, my brothers and sisters in Abuja, to try and explain to you and give you a background on what is going on. You recall when I decided to campaign to be governor and went around Edo State, and many of you at that point in time were eagerly listening to my electioneering promises. I was very clear that if God gives me the opportunity to serve my people, I will try and make a difference in the life of my state. I was very clear. And I told people that 8 years before I decided to run for office, I had been working behind the scenes silently, and I had come to understand the big challenges that face us as a state. And I felt that I had the capacity, the passion, and the commitment to tackle these challenges. That is why I believe the people of Edo State decided to vote for me as their governor. You recall that I was sworn in on November 12th, 2016. And after I assumed office, I made my priorities very clear. The first priority is our people, particularly the young ones. I was concerned about the level of unemployment and despair. When you Googled human trafficking, the next word you get is Edo. And for me, it's like, why us? So on that day, I think the first working day, you recall, my first trip was to Benin Technical College, where I found out that that school was totally abandoned. And so for me, I wanted to set a direction that, look, I want to focus on training or offering technical training and capacity so that these young people can find jobs. You recall my fights against human trafficking. So for me, from day one, it was clear it was about our people. who had almost begun to give up hope. For me as governor, I realized that the amount of money we're getting from Abuja was grossly inadequate to cope with the problems we're having at home. And this applies to many states. So, given my background as an investment person, I felt that I now am being given an opportunity to create an environment where we can attract investors to Edo so that they can now come and set up businesses and create jobs for our people. And before they come, I also want to prepare people to take advantage of these opportunities I was going to create. So I'm giving all of you this as a background to understanding what happened. You recall, for most of you who used to come to Benin, that for close to 16 years, you could not drive through Obama Ring Road. And why was that so? We found out that if few people had had created an economy out of first destroying our educational system, then using the disasters they have created for their own benefits. So they had a lot of young boys and girls who were not being educated. They will pass out of school, and they just started recruiting them as touts, thugs, to capture the state. So we had a situation of state capture, where a few people with their own local armies were given revenue bits to ensure that those warlords had operational territories in the guise of helping offer political support. And I said, look, yes, it may have made sense when we were an opposition state to have these people protect the state. But now we are, we're part of the ruling party in the country. We have the army, we have the police. So why do we need to keep all these thugs and all these kids on the street to disrupt the peace of the state? Let's take them out, retrain them, give them other opportunities, and create a sense of law and order. Because without law and order, investments will not come. So the first challenge I had, just before Christmas of 2016, was to take out all of these thugs who had captured the state. And you recall what happened. Took them out, cleaned up Ring Road, cleaned up, started to clean up the city and the state. Unknown to me, I was stepping on some toes, which is what you are now seeing today. Some people were not happy at all about it. Because, you remember my New Year's speech on that day. I said, look, non-state actors cannot collect state revenue. That's true. So I banned people who were not employees of the state or local governments from collecting revenues. So the crisis you are seeing today have their origins from the beginning. Where I said, look, I want to set Edo on a trajectory for economic growth. And those who had held it down in the past were clearly not happy. I know they're quite powerful. I knew the forces I was going up against. But I thought I had allies who had started to struggle with. So I did what I had to do. And you're witnesses to the facts today. Is Edo not better for it? Are you not able to navigate all the streets of... You recall the activities of CDAs when I came into office, that you could not put one block on your plot without being harassed. And one piece of property will be sold to multiple people We thank God for our royal father. When during his coronation, he raised concerns about it. And knowing that I had his support, I then came out with the necessary laws and the backing to stop the activities. So when you see the level of growth and economic activities in Edo today, it's all based on some of these difficult policy decisions I had to make. It is not like I took out these boys from the streets and I said I threw them out. No. I told their masters, give me these boys. Let me train them. Let me give them a new life. They were reluctant. But thank God, many of them left them and joined. And so we appointed them as enforcers in our new revenue collection system. When I assumed office in Edo State, only 4 local governments were viable. Only 4 local governments could pay their workers. They were not paying the salaries, they were not paying pensions, they were not paying any obligations due to workers. And the moment I took these people out, and they started collecting their revenues, today, only 4 local governments cannot pay fully at the end of every month. If you recall, when I assumed office, there were a group of pensioners who camped out on Ring Road every day, protesting that they hadn't paid their dues. On Labor Day, they will wear black to the May Day parades. This year, they wore white. Then look at infrastructure. I will not even say much about infrastructure. You know what we have done. You can move from the one extreme of the city today to the other extreme without seeing one pothole, because we've done all the major arterial roads that can move traffic. We sit down from morning to night. I brought dedicated Edo people to come and help us. Many of them have come in, have given up their time, their resources, yet all these hoodlums are calling them and are saying that I brought people from Lagos. These are all good. It's like bringing you from Abuja home now. They say we brought Abuja people to come to Kubapin. What they don't realize is that there are so many Edo people who have gone out of home across the globe who are eager to come and help and contribute. So I'm not even going to talk about infrastructure. What is even of most concern to me is education. All of you are where you are today. You're able to get jobs, good jobs, and establish yourself in Abuja because of one thing, because of the quality of education you received. Yes, we tried the first 8 years, but we thought that education was the buildings, but it wasn't it. So I sat down, looked at it, and said, what is really happening? How come we say these children are going through school, and yet they are not able to help themselves? That the problem is at the basic level. And so I started the education reform. I do best. First, took the teachers. Took about 7,000 of them in the first instance. Today, about 9,000 of them. I started retraining them. I did a GPS mapping of all our schools to know how many classes, how many desks, how many teachers we have for each class. So today, from my desk, I can tell you how many children I have in Edo, in our primary school system. I can tell you when a teacher is in class or not in class. So 1 year after, our educational system is now being studied by almost the whole world. Ask the World Bank. Yes. The Minister for Education of Rwanda has come to Edo to come and see what we're doing. Minister for Education from Sierra Leone has come to see what we're doing. 1 year after, our children are now learning. They are now learning. What they used to teach them in 1.5 years, they now teach them in 1 term. So, under I do best, our children are learning. And by the grace of God, in another 3-5 years from now, we will not have them on the streets being thugs and agberos. So, I've gone to great lengths to try and explain that It's about a reform to try and change Edo from what it is to what we had hoped and prayed it would be. And that is why I decided to become governor. I don't have any future political ambition. When I finish, by the grace of God, I go back to my business, which is suffering. I didn't come to make money in government house. I didn't come to make name. By the grace of God, He has given me one. So I really do not. I want to tell you that the crisis you have had today has come to a head, and it is. We must resolve it. Edo is for Edo people, not individuals. No matter who they think they are, we all will play our own roles and leave. What will remain is our state will remain. I've endured so much as a governor. As governor, I've not been able to even nominate somebody for a federal appointment. And meanwhile, federal appointments are made every day. I will sit down, they'll call me from the Senate. Are you aware of this? I keep quiet. I cannot be governor and not be governor. I should be able to make decisions, and I've made decisions which, in my view, are in the best interest of Edo State. Even within our politics, is it not ironic that in a state where we have one party ruling and that has all the 24 seats in the House of Assembly, we have this kind of a crisis? Thoroughly embarrassing. And at the center, we have our own person who is supposed to superintend this. So if your children are fighting and you cannot come and say, this, settle them, then what authority do you have to even be a father? Even if I was the worst governor in Nigeria, but I am the only governor for my party in the whole of the South and the Southeast, even if I were a madman, will you or whoever it is as the top not protect and cover me? Are you the one that will now come and begin to create disruption at home? No matter how serious our problems are, will you go out of your house and go outside and tell outsiders to come and take over your home? Do you want me as your governor to keep quiet and allow this happen? No. Should I not fight back? That is what you are saying. We should not be afraid. Because this can only produce good for Edo State. Edo would have been in the same situation as Zamfara, if not for God and my patience. How can I, as a governor, conduct elections and somebody comes and cancels them and then goes and begins to manipulate and throws in all sorts of people in there and now want to use the people to fight me and remove me from office? Are you saying I should keep quiet? No. So I have said it, that at the end of the day, I only have one mandate: to serve Edo people. And as long as God has given me this opportunity, I will not allow Edo State to be a pawn in anybody's political chess game. And I believe that God being with us, not one individual, not even me, can come out tomorrow and say, oh, because I've done well in Edo, therefore I must pocket Edo and put it in my pocket. I am proud of what I have done. Even if it's only one term, I know that I've made my mark. Go to our secretariat, where buildings that they are left at the foundation level, go and see them today. So for me, I keep asking the question, what have I done wrong? What is my offense? That they want to now get people to come and disrupt, create confusion in the state? The only thing they have said is that I refuse to share money. That is the only. I've had to say, what have I done wrong? They say, I refuse to share money. I am not taking care of the people who brought me into office. I say, 300,000 Edo people voted for me to be governor. If I do for everybody, if I do for the people, everybody will benefit. So I want to assure you that most people in Edo feel things the way you feel. And we are in the majority. Those people who you see on social media, on internet, they are inconsequential. They just will make noise and shout, but let them come to Edo. Let them come and say what they are saying in Upper Market and see whether people will not lynch them. They can only do that on social media. And like I said, I am in Benin waiting for them. I am in Benin waiting for them. And I'll tell them that the will of the people is more than the interest of an individual. I thank you.
We want to thank you greatly. We, the business of describing but the way we see leadership is simply the person who teaches the people. We also want to assure you that we will continue to pray for you. Edo State will not succeed.
He said.
We also want to assure His Excellency that we shall sit down together like this and begin to testify that we are able to surmount this, and blessing as well as progress is now what we are seeing.
One last word for you. After the party in the state had agreed on the principal offices or principal offices and those to occupy those offices, just like was done in Abuja. It was a party decision. Some of the members decided to form their own alliance in defiance of the party position. Those who refused to heeded the call of the clerk of the house, satisfied the conditions required for swearing in. 10 of them satisfied those conditions, and 9 of them were available and they were sworn in. The others tried to, on their own, create confusion the following day. And of course, those who had been sworn in will not just ignore such. And they took the necessary actions they had to take against their colleagues. And they claimed that they were being attacked, and they left town. So they've been camped in Abuja by, unfortunately, also Benin people. And I'm sure you have seen some of the videos circulating, and circulating based on the recordings from Said Oshomole as how they were making money from this exercise. 3 others, since then, decided to come and get inaugurated. And they were inaugurated. So there is no problem. There's a house. The house is functioning. They've cleared my commissioners. If we want people who were voted for by their people sincerely believe in democracy and believe that they are representing people, they should go and get inaugurated. I feel ashamed that the bulk of the legislators are from Edo South, which confirms the claim some of these people make that we are cheap, that with little money they can get us to do whatever they want to do. It's such an insult on us. So you see, majority of these people involved are from Edo South. Even someone from my own constituency. Are you saying people of Edo didn't vote for me? They don't want me? Even someone from my own constituency. They're there, being fed with money to thwart the will of their own people. So I think, for me, this raises very, very serious issues for us as a people. Because all these strides I've made, where have I made them? Did I take the money out of Edo? So I just wanted to make the point that what they are describing is not we don't have a crisis. We just have a few people who have their own political agenda, who feel that they must control the place the way they like to actualize that agenda. That is what it is. And I'm sorry they made a mistake, because they will practically, I know they are threatening me, but they will practically have to take my life to get their way through. And by the grace of God, they will not. So I just thought I should let you know that that's the core of what is going on. Okay.
Mr. President, just to
put you on my invitation list.
So we'll start from the President.
My name is Sonny Johnson, Obaseki, African People Local Government. I'm the director of Aluminium Company in Abuja. I'm also a member of BC Unique Commission. Moving forward, and the date of it people that you have started in the those states, no man born of a woman can stop it.
Your Excellency, sir, it's a great privilege. This is Esther Bello. I'm from the environment. Excellency, sir, and Mrs. Old Girl was a great. Good evening, Your Excellency.
I'm a trainer, a recruiter, and I'm the officer of Change Nigeria Online News. I also contacted Your Excellency to ask for information establish for power works and housing. Your Excellency, I am a beneficiary.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
Thank you. Yes.
Did you please?
It's just an added advantage, because ordinarily everyone is in love with the governor because of what he's doing. All the all-inclusive political and economic institutions, how he has, opened up the development of the state. Although this has created losers and winners in both the political arena and the economic marketplace, which tend to bring some friction from people who are not able to cope and who are natural opposers to innovation. But I think here we are determined to continue with the work and feed our focus and then starve the distraction. From what you have seen, the governor spoke just a little of what he's doing in Edo State. Edo State is transformed all around. And that we didn't have Governor Obaseki, before now. If we had had him 15 years ago, I think Edo State would have been better off. That we didn't have him before now was paradise lost. That we now have him in Edo State is paradise regained. And all those you see opposing, talking and castigating the government, they are the ones who are actually the problem in Edo. But Edo people are resolved that there is no going back. We have come to this stage. We are at the stage that we cannot now reprobate. There is a tide in the affairs of men, which taking at the floor leads on to fortune. Omitted, all the voyage of their life is bound in shallows and in mysteries. On such a full sea are we now afloat in Edo, and nobody, no matter the efforts the person makes, that can change this position. Thank you very much.
For the record, your name and your designation.
I'm Honorable Paul Ombamu, Commissioner for Information and Orientation.
Thank you.